Tonight begins in a quiet room at the edge of the forest. The walls are made of pale wood. A small fire has already burned low in the stone hearth. Moonlight rests across the floorboards in soft silver shapes. Beyond the open window, the trees are dark and still. Somewhere in the distance, water can be heard moving through the night. Not rain, not a river in flood, only a steady, patient sound, as though the forest is breathing through hidden streams. The bed behind you is warm. The room is calm. And yet the sound beyond the window seems to be waiting for you. You move closer to the open window. Cool forest air drifts gently inside. It carries the scent of wet moss, cedar bark, and fresh leaves. Below the window, a narrow stone ledge holds a shallow bowl of spring water. A few pale petals float upon its surface. Outside, branches sway only slightly. The sky above the trees is clear and deep with stars. The sound of water is clearer here. It seems to rise and fall behind the forest, as though many small streams are gathering somewhere unseen. Far below, near the garden wall, a faint path glimmers in the moonlight. The room opens into a small private garden behind the house. A wooden door waits at the far side, half covered in climbing ivy. Its iron latch is cool beneath your hand. When the door opens, no creak disturbs the silence. Only the soft night air enters more fully. Beyond it, the garden is silver with moonlight. Low herbs grow beside stone paths. A round basin catches the stars. And at the far wall, between two cedar posts, the hidden path begins. You step out into the little garden. Lavender, mint, and rosemary release their scent as the night air passes over them. Stone pavers lead between low beds edged with moss. The basin at the center of the garden holds a single floating flower. The petals barely move. Beyond it, the cedar post opening reveals darker trees and deeper shadows. A narrow trail of pale stepping stones disappears into them. The sound of water grows slightly stronger, still soft, still distant, but no longer uncertain. Past the garden wall, the forest receives you at once. Tall ferns lean inward from both sides of the path. Their fronds brush together overhead and form a low green arch. The stones beneath your feet are old and slightly uneven. Moisture glows faintly on them in the moonlight. Tree trunks rise close around the trail, their bark furred with lichen and moss. Ahead, the path bends gently. At its edge, a line of tiny white flowers marks the way through the ferns. The night remains quiet, except for the slow gathering voice of water. After a little while, a narrow stream appears beside the path. It travels over dark stones in a line of silver light. The water is clear enough to reflect the stars between the branches. Roots cross above it in natural bridges. Moss hangs from them like soft green cloth. The path and the stream keep to one another, winding together through the forest. Sometimes the water slips ahead, sometimes it falls behind, but it never disappears completely. It is as though it has chosen to guide you farther in. The stream widens where the trees pull back from it. Flat stepping stones cross from one bank to the other. They are broad enough to feel steady beneath your feet. White flowers grow between the cracks at the edges. The water moves gently around them, never splashing high enough to disturb the petals. On the far side, the path rises a little. Mist rests low over the ground there, not heavy enough to hide the way, only enough to soften the roots and stones beneath the trees. Beyond the crossing, the forest becomes older. Great cedar trunks stand farther apart here, their roots spreading like walls through the moss. The path passes through a shallow hollow between them. Needles carpet the ground beyond the stones. The air is cooler in the shade of the branches, though the scent of warm earth rises beneath it. High above, the stars appear only in small clearings. Ahead, faint vapor drifts between the trees for the first time. It moves slowly, lit pale blue by the moon. The forest seems to be breathing out warmth from somewhere hidden. The mist grows thicker as you continue. It gathers in folds among the ferns and tree roots. When it reaches the path, it does not feel cold. A quiet warmth rests inside it. The stream beside you is warmer now as well. Where the water slips over rock, a faint thread of steam rises from it. The scent in the air changes gently. Moss and cedar remain. But now there is also the clean mineral smell of stone touched by warm water. Whatever waits ahead, the forest has already begun to soften around it. The path leads you to a line of worked stone half buried in moss. A narrow channel has been carved into it. Warm water runs there in a steady, gleaming ribbon. It emerges from the darkness ahead and disappears beneath roots behind you. The forest trail now follows this little waterway instead of the stream. Smooth pebbles line its edges. Fern tips lean over it. Small beads of steam rise and vanish. The first trace of the hidden spa has appeared in the open forest. A small clearing opens beside the channel. At its center lies a round pool set within pale stone. Steam drifts across its surface in delicate layers. The water is still enough to hold the moon in reflection. White petals float in a quiet ring near the edge. No wall surrounds the pool, only moss, ferns, and low flowering plants. It feels less like something built than something discovered. The channel enters the pool from one side and leaves it from another, carrying warmth onward into the forest. The path continues beside it. From the little pool onward, the path changes beneath your feet. The flat stones are smoother here. They hold a faint stored warmth. Steam rises in thin lines between them where warm water passes underneath. Fern shadows move over the ground as branches stir above. The forest remains open enough for moonlight to guide you. But now the way feels tended, as if someone long ago shaped these stones to lead only toward rest. Far ahead, the sound of falling water deepens. It is no longer many hidden streams. It is one greater body of water, waiting beyond the trees. At the edge of another clearing, an old stone arch rises from the moss. Its upper half is broken, and pale vines have claimed the missing spaces. Warm water trickles through a narrow runnel beneath it. The stones are worn smooth by age and moisture. No wall remains attached to the arch. Only this single curve of stone standing quietly among the trees. You pass beneath it. Beyond, the mist grows silver white, and the sound of falling water rolls through the forest in a long, unbroken hush. The hidden place is near now. The forest path enters a narrow ravine, cut between dark rock walls. Roots trail down the stone like long fingers. Warm water runs in shallow grooves beside the path. The air is filled with fine mist now. Soft beads of moisture rest on the fern leaves and along the roots. Above, only a ribbon of night sky remains visible. The sound ahead is unmistakable. A waterfall is falling somewhere just beyond the turn. Not violent, not wild, only steady and deep, like a veil of moving sleep. The ravine opens without warning. Before you, the waterfall descends in a wide silver curtain from a cliff of moss-dark stone. Moonlight strikes the falling water and turns it pale as glass. Mist drifts outward across a broad basin below. Warm channels flow away from it into the forest. At first, the cliff seems solid behind the falling water. Then you notice a dim amber glow within the mist near one side. A path of smooth stones curves toward it. Something has been hidden beneath the waterfall all along. You follow the curved stones along the edge of the basin. The pool below the waterfall is clear and dark, touched with silver where the falling water meets it. Steam rises where warmer currents move beneath the surface. White flowers grow in pockets of moss among the rocks. The path remains dry and steady. To your left, the waterfall continues its endless descent. To your right, stone terraces and low walls begin to appear through the mist. The hidden spa is no ruin after all. It has simply learned how to belong to the forest without drawing attention. The path curves closer to the cliff. The mist becomes cooler for a few steps, then warmer again as you near the hidden opening. At the edge of the falling water, the stone wall breaks inward into a sheltered passage. The waterfall continues just beyond reach, a living curtain between you and the forest. Inside, the air softens at once. The floor is paved in pale stone. A carved channel of warm water runs along one side. The sound of the falls becomes deeper here, gentler too, as though heard through sleep. The passage opens into a quiet antechamber within the cliff. Steam hangs in soft layers beneath the stone ceiling. Shallow basins are built into the walls, each fed by gently flowing water. Fern fronds grow from cracks beside them. Smooth benches of pale stone follow the curve of the chamber. No voices live here. No footsteps echo ahead. Only the water continues, moving from basin to basin toward the deeper rooms. A second arch stands opposite the entrance passage. Warm light and a wider hush wait beyond it. Beyond the second arch, the hidden spa reveals itself for the first time. A long hall of stone opens around a series of warm pools. Some are round and still. Others spill gently into one another over low lips of carved rock. Steam drifts upward in silver ribbons. Moonlight enters from openings cut high in the cliff wall. It meets the softer glow of concealed lamps and turns the water pale blue and pearl. Moss softens the edges of every stair and ledge. The whole place feels ancient, restful, and quietly alive. It has been waiting here beneath the waterfall for longer than anyone could say. You step fully into the hidden place at last. The waterfall remains behind the stone wall, sounding now like a great distant breath. Before you, warm pools, fern-lined terraces, and carved water channels spread through the chamber in quiet harmony. Steam drifts beneath hanging roots that descend from the rock above. Small resting alcoves wait between pillars of stone. A wider pool lies at the center, calm and luminous beneath the filtered moonlight. Paths of smooth wet stone led onward into deeper parts of the spa. The journey through the forest has ended, but the journey through the hidden sanctuary has only just begun. The main hall continues beyond the central pool. A narrow path of pale stone curves between the water. Low channels cross beneath it and carry warmth from one pool to the next. Steam softens the edges of the chamber. Fern fronds lean over the water from moss-covered ledges. The sound of the waterfall has faded into a low, distant hush. Here, the gentler sounds are clearer. Water slipping over carved stone. Drops falling from roots above. The quiet movement of warm currents beneath the surface. The path leads toward a row of smaller arches at the far end of the hall. The first arch opens into a quieter room. Several small bathing alcoves are set into the curved stone walls. Each holds a pool no wider than a bed. The water in them is perfectly still. Pale stone shelves rest beside each pool. Folded towels lie upon them, soft and untouched. Thin roots descend from cracks in the ceiling and stop above the water. Drops gather at their tips. One falls. A single ring spreads across the nearest pool and disappears. The room becomes still again. A second doorway leads into a dry chamber beyond the pools. The floor is warmed from beneath. Smooth wooden benches stand against the walls. Open shelves hold folded robes in pale grey and soft green. Woven baskets rest beneath them. No mirror hangs here. No clock measures the passing time. Only a shallow stone bowl sits near the entrance, filled with clear water and floating cedar leaves. The air smells faintly of warm wood and clean linen. Another doorway waits beyond a curtain of hanging vines. The vines part easily as you pass through them. Cool leaves brush against one another overhead. Beyond them, the ceiling opens into a natural shaft in the cliff. Moonlight descends through ferns growing around the rim. The room beneath is circular and open to the sky. A narrow pool follows the curve of the wall. Steam rises into the moonlight and turns silver before disappearing. At the center, a round stone platform remains dry. A low wooden chair rests there beneath the open night. The curved pool is warmer than the rooms before it. Small streams enter through openings around the wall. Each one makes a different, quiet sound. One slips over smooth stone. Another falls through a bed of moss. A third travels beneath a cluster of white flowers. Their scents mingle with the mineral warmth of the water. Above, the moon remains framed by the circular opening. Its reflection travels slowly around the pool as you follow the dry central path. A narrow staircase descends beyond the wooden chair. The staircase descends in a gentle curve. Its steps are broad and shallow. Warmth rises through the stone beneath your feet. A narrow thread of water travels beside the stairs in a carved groove. The walls grow smoother as you descend. Ferns become smaller. Moss gives way to pale mineral lines running through the rock. The sound of the courtyard pool fades above. Ahead, the staircase ends beside a soft veil of steam. Something larger waits beyond it. Beyond the veil, the passage opens into a garden filled with steam. Low islands of moss rise between shallow pools. Ferns and broad-leaved plants grow from them in quiet clusters. Warm water winds around the islands in narrow channels. The ceiling is high and lost in shadow. Drops fall from unseen roots and vanish into the mist. Pale flowers open close to the water, where the air is warmest. A path of flat stones crosses the garden. Each step appears slowly through the steam ahead. The stepping stones divide around two pools. One is deep and dark beneath overhanging ferns. The other is shallow and clear, with smooth white stones visible below. Warm water passes gently between them through a narrow opening. The ferns move only when steam brushes their leaves. No lamps are needed here. Moonlight enters through thin cracks high above and catches in the mist. The two paths meet again beside a low stone bridge. Beyond it, the garden continues into deeper green. The bridge rises only slightly above the water. Its surface is worn smooth by years of mist and passing feet. Warm channels flow beneath three small arches. White petals collect in the quiet spaces between them. From the middle of the bridge, the steam garden can be seen behind you. Ahead, the plants grow taller. Dark leaves gather around a hidden doorway in the stone. A thin stream flows out beneath it. The The doorway is low enough that the hanging leaves nearly conceal its upper edge. The doorway leads into a long, narrow room. Water covers almost the entire floor. Only a raised path of pale stone remains dry along one side. The pool is shallow and clear. Lines of warm water enter from the walls and cross beneath the surface. Their movement creates shifting patterns of light across the ceiling. Stone bowls rest in shallow niches above the waterline. Each holds smooth pebbles and folded leaves. At the far end, the raised path turns through another arch. The next room is filled with the sound of fine water. Dozens of narrow streams fall from the ceiling in straight silver threads. They descend into a long pool below, without splashing. Stone paths run between them. The water hangs close enough to touch, yet leaves the walkways dry. Steam gathers lower to the floor. The falling threads catch the moonlight from a hidden opening above. They seem almost still until you move past them. Beyond the final curtain of water, a darker chamber waits. The darker chamber holds a single pool. Its water is deep green, almost black at the center. Pale mineral veins run through the surrounding stone. They do not glow. They simply catch what little moonlight reaches the room. A low platform follows one edge of the pool. Smooth stones have been arranged there in a shallow bowl. The air feels warmer close to the water. Small bubbles rise from somewhere below and vanish quietly at the surface. A narrow passage continues beyond the far wall. The narrow passage opens into warmer air. Wooden slats line the walls of the next chamber. They are dark with age and moisture. Steam rises from a shallow channel running beneath them. The scent of cedar fills the room. Long benches follow the walls in simple curves. A small opening near the ceiling lets cooler air drift inside. The steam moves slowly toward it. No water pool waits here. Only warmth, cedar, and a place to sit while the sound of the spa continues beyond the walls. A side opening leads to a small resting niche. The stone floor is covered by a woven mat. A low couch rests against the wall beneath a canopy of fern leaves. Two pale cushions lie at one end. A folded blanket waits at the other. Beside the couch, water moves through a narrow channel cut into the floor. Its sound is gentle enough to become part of the silence. Through the open arch, steam drifts from the cedar chamber. The deeper spa remains quiet beyond it. The path leaves the resting niche and rises slightly. It emerges onto a broad terrace beneath hanging roots. The roots descend from the cliff ceiling in long, quiet strands. Some reach the mossy stone floor. Others stop above a line of shallow pools. Warm water moves slowly beneath them. Pale leaves float where the roots touch the surface. The terrace overlooks several lower rooms of the spa. Steam drifts upward through open arches below. A curved stair continues along the rock wall. The curved stair reaches a narrow upper walkway. A clear waterway runs beside it at shoulder height. The channel has been carved directly into the cliff wall. Warm water moves through it without spilling. Small openings allow the water to fall into rooms below in thin streams. From here, the spa forms a quiet maze of terraces and pools. Moonlight reaches some chambers. Others remain hidden in steam. The walkway follows the upper channel toward a brighter opening ahead. The brighter opening leads into an open fern court. The cliff walls fall away on one side. Beyond them, the forest canopy stretches beneath the stars. The waterfall can be heard but not seen. A long rectangular pool rests at the center of the court. Its surface reflects the trees and open sky. Tall ferns grow in stone beds around it. Warm water enters through a single carved spout and leaves without disturbing the reflection. Stone seats line the sheltered wall. A covered terrace waits beyond the fern court. Its roof is formed from stone and living roots. The open side faces the forest. Low couches rest beneath the shelter with folded blankets across them. A shallow channel of warm water runs along the terrace edge. Steam drifts over it and disappears into the night air. The forest below is dark and quiet. Only the distant waterfall and hidden streams can be heard. At the far end of the terrace, a stair descends beside a wall of moss. The stair descends between the terrace and the cliff. Moss covers the wall beside it in a thick green layer. Water moves silently beneath the moss and appears in small clear drops. The steps curve down through cooler air. Steam becomes thinner here. The sound of open water grows stronger below. At the bottom, the stair meets a broad stone landing. Beyond it, a large pool lies beneath an opening in the cliff. The night sky is reflected across its entire surface. The landing opens onto the largest pool you have seen so far. It rests partly within the cliff and partly beneath the open sky. One side is sheltered by stone arches. The other faces the forest and distant mountains. Warm water fills the broad basin in complete calm. Only a faint current moves beneath the surface. Moonlight travels across the water and reaches the stone steps at its edge. A narrow bridge crosses one end of the pool. Beyond the bridge, another section of the hidden spa waits among the trees. The deeper gardens of warm water are about to begin. The narrow bridge carries you over the far end of the great pool. Its stone surface is smooth and cool beneath the moonlight. Below, the warm water moves almost without sound. The bridge passes beneath a low arch wrapped in trailing ferns. Beyond it, the architecture begins to loosen. Straight walls give way to mossy terraces and open forest. The air smells greener here. Wet leaves, mineral water, and warm stone mingle beneath the trees. Ahead, several paths divide around pools hidden among the roots. The deeper gardens have begun. The first path enters a garden of low, shallow pools. Each one is edged with pale stone and softened by moss. Warm water rests only a few inches deep. Smooth pebbles can be seen beneath the surface. Small ferns grow on islands between the pools. Their reflections tremble when a drop falls from the branches above. The pools are linked by narrow openings, hidden beneath the stone edges. Water moves through the whole garden as one quiet body. A heated path winds between them toward a stand of silver-bark trees. The path beneath the silver trees holds a gentle warmth. Fine lines of steam rise between the fitted stones. The tree trunks shine pale in the moonlight. Their roots cross above and below the path without disturbing it. Small channels carry warm water through the spaces between them. White petals drift along those channels and gather in quiet bends. The forest floor beyond remains cool and dark. Only the path and water seem to hold the warmth of the spa. Ahead, the roots gather around a round pool beneath the trees. The round pool lies within a natural ring of roots. Silver trunks rise around it, like quiet pillars. Warm water fills the basin, nearly to the moss-covered edge. Several pale flowers float near the center. The moon appears between the branches above. Its reflection rests among the flowers without breaking. One root forms a low seat beside the water. Another carries a narrow stream into the pool through a smooth hollow. Beyond the trees, a soft path continues deeper into the garden. The path follows the stream away from the silver tree pool. The water no longer travels through carved stone. Instead, it runs through the hollow center of a fallen root. The old root twists across the forest floor like a natural aqueduct. Warm water glides through it in a clear ribbon. Fern leaves lean over the edges. Drops gather on their tips and fall into the current. The root channel curves toward a darker grove. There, broad leaves hide several pools from view. Broad leaves part to reveal 3 small pools. They are almost entirely hidden beneath the plants. One is oval and deep. One is narrow enough to resemble a stream. The third is round and filled with floating leaves. Warm water moves slowly between them beneath the roots. The air here is quieter than the open garden. Steam rests low beneath the foliage. A path of dark stepping stones crosses between the pools. On the far side, the trees open toward a wider garden. The hidden pools open into a broad garden of water. A long, shallow basin stretches beneath the trees. Hundreds of pale flowers float across its surface. They are not crowded. Each one rests with space around it. Warm currents move them slowly through the garden. The flowers gather near the edges, separate again, and drift onward. Flat stones form a dry path through the center. At the far end, a small stone pavilion waits beneath hanging branches. The pavilion is open on every side. Its roof is low and covered in moss. 4 simple stone pillars rise from the water garden. A dry platform rests between them. Low cushions lie along one edge beneath the shelter. The floating flowers drift beneath the open sides. Their petals brush softly against the stone. From the pavilion, the garden stretches behind you like a pale, moving field. A narrow watercourse leaves the far side and disappears beneath an arch of roots. The path leaves the pavilion and passes beneath the root arch. The roots form a low tunnel over the watercourse. Their surfaces are smooth with moisture. Warm water flows beside the path in a narrow channel. The ceiling is close enough for hanging moss to brush the air above you. Moonlight appears only in small openings between the roots. The garden behind becomes hidden. Ahead, the tunnel brightens with a cooler silver light. The sound of open water grows clearer. The root tunnel opens onto a long, silver water terrace. A narrow, rectangular pool follows the cliff edge. Its surface reflects the night sky with unusual clarity. The forest drops away beyond the low wall. Warm steam rises from the pool and drifts outward over the trees. Several smooth stone seats face the view. No roof shelters this terrace. Only branches extend above from the cliffside. At the far end, the pool narrows into a channel leading beneath a glass structure. The channel leads toward a garden enclosed by glass. Tall panes rise between slender stone supports. Moisture beads across their surfaces. Vines climb the lower frames without covering the view. Through the glass, warm pools and pale plants can be seen beneath the moon. The entrance stands open. No door blocks the path. Warm, humid air drifts outward across the terrace. Inside, the sound of water becomes softer and more enclosed. Inside, the glass roof curves gently overhead. Moonlight filters through beads of condensation. The droplets gather, slide, and fall into the pools below. Warm water fills long basins between beds of ferns. Pale leaves shine softly where the moonlight reaches them. Stone paths divide the garden into quiet sections. The glass holds the warmth close. Steam rises, touches the roof, and returns as water. A wider bathing pool rests at the center of the garden. The central pool is long and softly curved. Its pale stone edge follows the shape of the garden. Warm water lies beneath the glass roof in complete calm. Moonlight and reflected leaves move across the surface. Tall plants rise from stone beds along one side. The other side remains open, with a broad, dry ledge for resting. A shallow stream enters beneath a sheet of glass. It crosses the pool without disturbing the surface. Beyond the far end, another doorless opening leads back beneath the trees. A narrow path follows the inside of the glass wall. Condensation runs down the panes beside you. Beyond them, the forest appears softened and distant. Inside, warm pools and fern beds pass quietly on the other side. The path curves behind the central pool. Small stone bowls collect the water that slides from the glass. Each bowl overflows into a channel beneath the floor. The sound is light and repetitive. At the end of the path, a glass doorframe stands open to the night. Outside the glasshouse, the forest opens around a single circular pool. The water is darker than the pool's inside. Its center reflects the moon with perfect clarity. Low white flowers grow around the stone edge. No steam crosses the middle of the pool. It rises only near the outer rim. The water feels still and deep. A ring of smooth stones forms a path around it. Beyond the far side, warm channels disappear into a grove of ancient trees. The grove beyond the moon pool feels older than the rest of the forest. The trunks are wide and deeply ridged. Warm channels run between their roots. Some roots form bridges. Others rise into natural walls around small pockets of water. The ground is soft with moss. No paved path remains. You follow broad roots that curve gently through the grove. Ahead, one enormous tree holds a pool within the hollow between its roots. The enormous tree cradles a pool in the hollow at its base. Its roots curve around the water like protective arms. Warm water enters through a split in the bark. It leaves through a narrow opening beneath another root. Pale leaves float in the sheltered center. The tree rises so high that its crown disappears into darkness. Steam gathers beneath the lowest branches. A low root offers a place to sit beside the pool. Behind the trunk, a path continues through a gap in the roots. Behind the ancient tree, the roots form a long, natural gallery. They rise on both sides like curved ribs. Warm water travels beneath the path in narrow channels. Small openings between the roots reveal pools outside. One opening frames the moon pool behind you. Another reveals the glass garden glowing only with reflected moonlight. The gallery bends gradually downward. The air becomes warmer as the path descends. At the far end, pale mineral stone begins to replace the wood and moss. The root gallery ends where the forest meets the mountain. Dark wood presses gently against pale mineral rock. Warm water emerges from beneath the roots and enters carved stone channels. The change feels gradual rather than sudden. Moss still grows in the cracks. Fine roots continue across the ceiling. But the air now carries a cooler mineral scent beneath the steam. A broad stone doorway opens ahead. Beyond it, the water disappears into the first cavern. You pause at the broad doorway. Behind you, the warm water gardens remain open beneath the moon. Ahead, the mountain holds a different silence. A pale stone path descends beside an underground stream. Soft steam moves through the opening and vanishes into darkness. Mineral lines trace the cavern walls. Far below, water reflects a faint blue-gray light. The gardens of trees and glass have come to an end. The hidden spa is about to lead you behind the waterfall and deep into the mountain. You step through the broad stone doorway. The moonlit gardens remain visible for only a few moments behind you. Ahead, the pale path descends beside a narrow underground stream. The cavern walls are smooth in some places and sharply folded in others. Thin mineral lines run through the rock like pale threads. Steam drifts above the water, but leaves the path clear. Each step takes you farther from the open forest. Soon, only a small blue opening remains behind. The sound of the waterfall grows deeper through the stone. The path settles beside the underground stream. Its water is clear enough to reveal bands of pale stone beneath the surface. Warm currents move slowly through cooler blue-gray water. Small clouds of steam rise wherever the two meet. The stream curves naturally through the cavern. Low ledges create quiet places where the water gathers. No railings or carved ornaments disturb the rock. Only the path has been gently smoothed. Farther ahead, the stream slips beneath a narrow stone arch. The ceiling lowers as you approach the stone arch. The path narrows beside the stream. Water sounds become softer beneath the enclosed rock. Moisture gathers in small silver drops overhead. A curtain of fine roots hangs through a crack in the ceiling. They sway slightly in the moving air. Beyond the arch, the cavern widens again. A broad pool waits in a chamber of pale stone. Its surface glows only with reflected blue-gray light. The wider chamber holds a broad mineral basin. Its edge is irregular and naturally worn. Warm water enters through several shallow grooves in the rock. The basin is deep near the center and pale around the rim. Steam gathers in thin layers close to the surface. A low shelf of stone curves along one side. The cavern's ceiling rises high above it. Drops of water fall at long intervals. Each one sends a slow ring across the basin. You follow the curved shelf beside the basin. The stone is smooth from years of warm water and passing feet. Small mineral pools rest in hollows along the wall. Some are clear, others are clouded with pale blue clay. A narrow channel carries overflow back into the main basin. The shelf bends behind a thick pillar of rock. Beyond it, the chamber opens toward a darker passage. The steady sound of falling water waits somewhere ahead. Behind the rock pillar, a small alcove opens in the cavern wall. Shallow stone bowls hold soft mineral clay. One is pale blue, another is almost white. Warm water drips slowly from a narrow seam above them. The floor has been kept clean by a channel that circles the alcove. No containers or tools are needed here. The mountain gathers everything naturally. A smooth stone seat rests beneath the dripping water. The darker passage continues beyond the alcove. The passage beyond the alcove is narrow and warm. Steam moves slowly along the floor. The walls close around the path without feeling tight. Dark mineral bands cross the pale rock. Small channels run at ankle height on both sides. The water within them moves in opposite directions. One carries warmth deeper into the mountain. The other returns cooler water toward the basin. Ahead, the passage begins to vibrate with the hidden force of the waterfall. The passage reaches a wall of dark stone. At first, it appears to be a dead end. Then you notice the water moving through the rock. The wall trembles with a deep, continuous sound. A narrow stone bench curves beneath it. When you pause there, the waterfall can be felt more than heard. Coolness passes through the dark stone. Warm steam rises from the channel at your feet. To the right, a hidden opening bends around the wall. The hidden opening curves sharply. Cool mist reaches you before the waterfall comes into view. The passage becomes a narrow ledge cut through dark rock. To your left, a wall of water descends beyond a deep opening. Moonlight passes faintly through it. The waterfall appears silver blue from behind. Its sound fills the chamber, but remains softened by the stone. Warm water runs in a shallow groove beside the ledge. The ledge widens at the center of the waterfall. A broad opening frames the falling water like a living window. Through it, you can see the moonlit forest far beyond. The outdoor pools appear small and quiet below. The glasshouse is only a faint shape among the trees. Water moves in silver sheets across the opening. Cool spray settles on the stone. Behind you, warm steam continues to drift from the mountain passage. For a moment, the entire hidden spa can be felt at once. Past the waterfall, the ledge enters a warm chamber. The roar of water fades quickly behind thick stone. A long, shallow pool follows the curve of the wall. Its water is clearer and warmer than the stream outside. Steam gathers beneath a low ceiling. Dark stone arches rise from the pool like natural ribs. A narrow, dry path follows the inner edge. At the far end, a pale opening leads into another chamber. The air smells faintly of rain and minerals. The pale opening leads into a round chamber. Water falls here in fine threads from the ceiling. It is not part of the main waterfall. It is rainwater filtering slowly through the mountain. The drops gather in a cool circular pool. Warm channels enter around the edges. The center remains clear and still. Small ripples spread beneath each falling thread. A stone rim offers a path around the pool. Another opening waits behind a veil of steam. The opening beyond the rainwater pool is hidden by steam. It moves in a slow white curtain across the path. Warm air rises from a channel beneath the stone floor. As you pass through, the sounds behind you become distant. The steam clears gradually. A tall chamber appears beyond it. Natural columns connect the floor and ceiling. Between them, several pools rest at different heights. Water spills quietly from one level to the next. The tall chamber is filled with tiered pools. The highest is small and pale. The lowest is wide and blue-gray. Each pool has been shaped by flowing mineral water. Thin waterfalls connect them. Steam rises most strongly from the middle level. Stone steps follow the pools upward. A separate path descends toward the lowest basin. The chamber feels open despite being deep within the mountain. A faint current of fresh air moves through a crack overhead. You take the steps beside the pools. They lead to a narrow upper terrace. From here, the water can be seen moving through the entire chamber. The highest pool receives a thin stream from the rock. Its surface is almost perfectly white from mineral deposits. A shallow seat has formed along the inner rim. The cavern wall beside it is warm. Below, the lower pools reflect blue-gray light. Ahead, the terrace continues through a natural opening. The natural opening overlooks a much deeper chamber. At its center lies a dark blue basin. The water is so clear that the stone floor can be seen far below. A pale path spirals gently down along the cavern wall. Small, warm channels follow the outer edge. Steam gathers only where the channels meet the basin. The center remains open and glass-like. Across the water, a stone doorway stands above the far shore. Its shape is simple and ancient. The spiral path descends slowly toward the basin. The cavern wall remains close on one side. On the other, the dark water opens below. Natural ledges interrupt the descent at gentle intervals. Each one holds a shallow pool warmed by the channels. The air becomes quieter, closer to the water. Even the waterfall is now only a distant vibration. At the lowest ledge, a narrow stone bridge crosses to the far shore. The ancient doorway waits beyond it. The stone bridge is low and broad. Water passes beneath it without a sound. The basin reflects the cavern ceiling in dark blue. Warm channels enter from both shores. Their pale currents fade before reaching the center. Halfway across, the bridge widens into a small resting platform. The ancient doorway rises directly ahead. Beyond it, a warmer light reflects from water. The chamber behind you feels vast and still. The doorway opens into the oldest chamber yet. A long bathing hall has been shaped directly from the mountain. Wide mineral pools line both sides of a central stone path. Their edges are smooth but irregular. Water enters through narrow seams in the walls. Steam hangs in high layers beneath the ceiling. No lamps or ornaments fill the hall. Pale stone reflects the warmth of the pools. At the far end, a dark opening leads still deeper. You walk slowly through the inner bathing hall. The pools become quieter toward the far end. Their water shifts from warm gold to soft blue-gray. The central path narrows beside the last basin. A dark doorway opens beneath a low arch. Cool air moves through it. Beyond, faint reflections suggest larger chambers below. The waterfall and forest now feel very far away. The hidden spa has reached the deep heart of the mountain. Another journey waits beyond the doorway. You pass beneath the low arch. The path descends into a chamber filled with reflections. Wide pools rest on several levels below. Their surfaces are almost completely still. Pale mineral walls curve around the chamber without sharp corners. Cool blue-gray light appears to rise from the water itself. It is only reflected light traveling through hidden openings in the mountain. A narrow path follows the highest ledge. Far below, another pool mirrors the ceiling like dark glass. The upper path follows a series of silent cascades. Water moves over broad mineral shelves in sheets too thin to make much sound. Each shelf catches a different shade of blue. The highest is pale and clear. The lowest disappears into deep shadow. Steam rests close to the warmer edges. The center of each pool remains open. The path slopes gently beside the falling water. Ahead, a tall stone pillar divides the chamber in two. The path divides around the enormous pillar. One side passes close to the falling water. The other follows a dry ledge beside the wall. You take the quieter route. The pillar is marked by pale mineral rings from ancient water levels. Small streams emerge at its base. They cross the stone in narrow grooves before reaching the pools. Beyond the pillar, the two paths meet again. A low chamber waits beneath a ceiling of smooth, dark rock. The next chamber has a low, smooth ceiling. Every drop of water carries softly across the stone. The sound is gentle rather than hollow. A shallow pool fills most of the floor. Flat stepping stones form a path through its center. Warm water enters from one side. Cool water leaves through a narrow opening on the other. Thin mist gathers beneath the ceiling. At the far end, the path rises onto a pale mineral shore. The stepping stones end on a pale mineral shore. The stone here is soft in color and lightly textured. Small pools remain in shallow depressions. Each one reflects a different section of the ceiling. A smooth path winds between them. There is no steam here. The air feels cooler and clearer. Along the wall, thin lines of water descend like silver threads. The path leads toward a quiet opening framed by white stone. The white stone opening leads into a narrow passage. Its walls have been polished by slow-moving water. The floor curves gently downward. A shallow stream runs through the center. There is room to walk comfortably on either side. Fine mineral lines follow the bends in the passage. The reflected light becomes softer. Behind you, the pools fade from view. Ahead, the stream widens beneath a natural arch. Beyond the arch, the stream opens into a hidden lake. The chamber is wider than it first appears. The far walls disappear into shadow. Warm water spreads across the surface in slow, pale currents. The lake remains dark and still between them. A stone path follows the near shore. Low mineral shelves create small resting pools beside it. Across the lake, a faint opening reflects on the water. The path continues along the curved shoreline. You follow the shoreline deeper into the chamber. The lake remains beside you in quiet darkness. Warm pools appear between the path and the cavern wall. Each is small enough to feel sheltered. Water enters them through narrow seams. Overflow returns to the lake through shallow grooves. The ceiling lowers gradually. A pale stone arch appears ahead. Beyond it, soft steam rises around a circular basin. The arch opens around a circular resting basin. Its water is warm and perfectly clear. A broad stone seat runs around the inner edge. The center is deep and dark blue. Steam rises in a slow ring near the wall. Above, the ceiling forms a smooth dome. A single stream enters from a narrow crack. Its gentle movement is the only sound. Another path leads through a low opening behind the basin. The low opening behind the basin leads away from the lake. The passage is dry and softly curved. Warmth remains in the stone beneath your feet. Small channels run inside the walls. Their water can be heard but not seen. The passage bends several times. Each turn makes the outside world feel more distant. At last, the ceiling begins to rise. A dim chamber opens ahead with a single still pool. The chamber ahead contains only one pool. Its shape follows the natural curve of the rock. No stream enters it. No overflow leaves it. The water appears completely motionless. The ceiling is reflected so clearly that the pool seems deeper than the mountain. A narrow stone seat rests beside the edge. Pale mineral lines circle the chamber. Beyond the pool, a soft path rises toward another opening. You leave the pool of stillness and follow the rising path. The stone becomes warmer beneath each step. Thin streams appear again along the walls. They flow downward toward the chamber behind you. The passage widens gradually. A faint breeze moves through it. The air carries the scent of wet stone and distant forest rain. Far ahead, a dim blue opening appears. It is not the outside. It leads to a chamber where the mountain opens toward the waterfall. The blue opening leads into a high chamber. The waterfall can be heard above and behind the stone. Fine spray descends through a narrow crack in the ceiling. It gathers in a long, shallow pool below. The pool reflects moving silver light. Broad stone shelves rise around it. Warm channels pass beneath the shelves and keep the air gentle. Across the chamber, a final passage leads away from the water. Its entrance is framed by pale mineral stone. You cross the broad shelves beside the silver pool. The final passage is quieter than the chambers before it. Its stone is pale and almost smooth. Warm water runs beneath the floor. The gentle heat rises through the path. Small round openings in the wall release thin breaths of steam. The passage curves in a slow circle. At its end, soft blue-grey light rests on a wide doorway. Beyond it lies the final chamber of the spa. The wide doorway opens into the final sanctuary. The chamber is broad but not vast. A single warm pool rests at its center. Pale mineral terraces surround it in gentle steps. The water reflects soft blue-grey light from a high opening. Steam rises only near the edges. The center remains clear and calm. Along the far wall, a sheltered resting alcove has been shaped from stone. A narrow path circles the pool toward it. You follow the path around the final pool. The water is warmer here than anywhere else in the mountain. Its surface remains almost still. A narrow stream enters beneath the stone rim. Another leaves through a hidden channel. The movement can be felt but barely seen. Smooth mineral seats curve around the edge. The sheltered alcove waits beyond the far side. Inside it, pale cushions rest on a broad stone platform. The alcove is protected by a low curve of stone. The sound of the pool becomes softer inside it. A broad platform has been covered with pale cushions and folded blankets. Their colors match the mineral walls. A shallow channel carries warm water beneath the platform. The stone holds the warmth without becoming hot. Steam drifts past the entrance, but does not fill the alcove. From here, the whole pool can still be seen. The chamber feels completely safe and still. You settle into the resting place. The cushions yield softly beneath you. Warmth rises through the stone platform. Beyond the alcove, the pool reflects the high opening. Steam moves in slow layers across the edges. The mountain is silent, except for distant water. The waterfall has become a low vibration far above. The forest feels held somewhere beyond the stone. Nothing more is required of you tonight. chamber grows quieter as the night deepens. The reflected light above the pool becomes softer. Steam gathers in thin white bands. The pale terraces fade gradually into shadow. Warm water continues moving beneath the stone. Its gentle current can be felt through the resting platform. Far away, rain touches the forest beyond the waterfall. The sound reaches the mountain as the faintest whisper. The hidden spa holds the whole night around you. The warmth beneath you remains steady. The pool beyond the alcove becomes a soft shape in the darkness. The waterfall continues far above. Its distant rhythm moves through the mountain. The forest waits quietly on the other side. Warm channels carry water through roots, glass gardens, pools, and stone. Every part of the hidden spa settles into stillness. Your breathing slows with the water. The night closes gently around the chamber, and beneath the waterfall, deep within the mountain, you drift peacefully into sleep.